Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Aries, March 2024 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel St. James, clairvoyant. Well, this month we have a deck that is actually very hard to discern what the card is from the picture itself, but we'll give it a good go. It's a Raphael deck, is it? Raphaelite? I can't remember. I don't tend to keep decks in boxes. I just tend to keep them wrapped up in string, you see, which is the tradition, but each to their own. I don't sell decks again, and if I get them, I just hang on to them. I don't have all that many anyway. Actually, probably I do. But let's say this, that it looks like it's going to be a good month for you. I've just got that vibe, so you understand that also. I've done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings for people over the course of the last month from different countries in the world over FaceTime and Skype. And if you would be interested in having a clairvoyant reading with me, check out the information at the end of the video. That's in the description box. Now, also in the description box is the way to get hold of me for healing. You see, clairvoyant readings I charge for, I have to. Healings, however, that spiritual gift was given to me at birth on the basis that I get nothing in return for it. And so it is offered for free, without any obligation, no catches, nothing will be sold or recommended to you. You won't be talked into having a reading or anything like that. It's the free lunch. So if you feel that you have some emotional or physical pain that you want to get through, then just get hold of me. You understand that the healing comes through me and not from me. Now, it's great to see the subscribers again. By the way, the healing I can also do over FaceTime and Skype. It works as well. So the question is this, that the subscribers know that there are no video ads in this. I don't think Google will put any in. I don't want them to. And so you get to enjoy the experience uninterrupted. And when you take 5 cards, because 5 is all we need. We don't just spend 2 seconds on a card, do we? Oh no. They have a lot to tell us. So let's get things underway and see if we can decipher at the start what these cards are. Show me the magic. The Lovers. That looks like the Ace of Wands. This is the 6 of Coins or Pentacles. This is the 10 of Cups. And finally for you, to the High Priestess is what I would say that is. Well, why don't you and I'll bring the camera around, you and I can have a good close look at the imagery that's on these cards together while I do the reading for you. What a fascinating spread of cards for you, Aries, this month. Let's have a look here first at the children of the voice divine, the oracle of the mighty gods, otherwise referred to as the Lovers here. Now, there's a lot of Gemini energy around here. Spiritually, Gemini is about the explosion of duality into creation. That is, what was once one now becomes differentiated. There is differentiation about. So I think what this is saying to me straight up, that there is love here, attraction, approaching other people, a connection, a union of opposites through love, and becoming conscious through relationship. But in particular, I think there are some choices for you to make at this time. I think there's a need for you to look at all angles before making a decision. I think you could also be a mediator or a peacemaker. And there's the need to look at harmony in a relationship. I get the feeling here that there's really the need to make a major life choice on the direction ahead of you. There could well be a mutual sexual attraction and a sexual connection, but because this is a major arcana, I don't think that connection is going to be short-term, but could well be something which plays out much more in the long term here. Now, the Lovers represent, I think, 2 opposites which yearn for and are attracted to one another. This duality, this Gemini duality in creation, which is reflected in every aspect of existence, is really experienced in the relations between man and woman. Of course, for the lesbian and gay community, you can make the necessary adjustment. Now, every attempt at approach, union, connection, that's an expression of the passionate urge to re-establish this lost oneness, which is really, I'm looking at the picture here, something of a Garden of Eden story. I'll get into that in just a second. Now, every individual, every woman, every man contains the duality of male and female within them. Now, these just express themselves in different, often contradictory ways, don't they? The central meaning of this energy, I think, is that of the reconciliation of opposites. Now, I guess that each partner in a relationship mirrors the mental and spiritual condition of the other person. Now, usually your partner mirrors aspects that are undeveloped or not enlivened in yourself. What you feel you are missing in yourself, you see in the other person. Now, this is an opportunity to have vitally important experiences on the way towards awareness. Now, this thought, I suppose, can't be grasped just using the mind, just by using the intellect, or by wallowing around with sentimental feelings. Rather, it demands the direct life experience. It requires letting yourself in for all the dimensions of joy, ecstasy, mutual enrichment to be found in life and relationships, as well as the pain, the struggle, and annihilation, which is necessary for growth. A relationship that is vital and alive really allows those involved to experience all of the dualities, all of the opposites. Now, you would know that with love comes jealousy, with harmony comes disharmony, with unity comes separation, and with the excitement of coming to know someone also comes at times the separation or estrangement from the person. And just to look at this painting just a little bit further here, we definitely do have, I think, a Garden of Eden, an Adam and Eve situation going on. Now, those in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh may not be familiar with the Jewish, Christian, and Muslim text found in the book of Genesis, in particular, chapters 2 and 3. Now, chapter 1 of that book has one creation story. Chapters 2 and 3 speaks of another different type of creation story, which has come from a different source. And here, in this second story, which I love, there is God who sees a barren earth and takes from the earth and creates a person called Adam. Now, in the biblical Hebrew, Adam means earthling or from the earth. And then the God then says, look, I'm going to create from the earth companionship for Adam, and I'm going to create all animals and birds and things. Now, the landscape which was around was effectively barren, no grasses, no shrubs, and the text says because no man had tilled it. So still here we have people, I think, a person who is in the spiritual realm. And then it goes on to say that the animals and birds weren't sufficient companionship for this human, which is also a translation of Adam from the biblical Hebrew. So God took not from the earth, but from this being, from the rib of a being, and created a duality, another person, in this case, Eve. Now, the ancient Hebrew biblical name is that of Hava, which means breath of life, or the mother of life. And in this Garden of Eden, then God said, here I'm placing you in the Garden of Eden. Now, this was a very fertile garden that sprung up amidst all the barren landscape that was around. And God said to Adam, look, you can eat whatever you want from this garden, just don't eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and bad. Now, these are apples that are referred to, seen in the picture here. There are no apples referred to. It wasn't an apple tree. Eve didn't offer an apple, but a serpent. And God said, if you do eat from that, the knowledge of what is good and bad, then you will die. Now, Eve was approached by a serpent who said, what are you allowed to eat? And she said, well, we can eat anything, but we can't eat from that tree which is in the middle of the garden, or we will die. And the snake said, did God really tell you that? You're not going to die. And she looked at the fruit. She saw how good it was, and she appreciated the wisdom of good and bad that would come from it, and she ate from it. And she gave some to Adam as well. God came along and said, well, you've done something which I asked you not to do, and now you are going to leave this Garden of Eden, which I say is the spiritual realm, and you're going to leave it, and you're going to go onto this barren landscape. And Adam, you are going to till the soil to try and find grass to eat. And Eve, you are going to give birth in blood and tears, even though you are still going to have a sexual attraction to your mate to produce more children. And then the story says, because when they had eaten from the tree of the knowledge of good and bad, they sewed together fig leaves to provide loincloths for each other, because they then became ashamed of themselves. But when they left the Garden of Eden, God then, it says, clothed them with skins for garments. And skins are, of course, the human form. Now, people blame Eve, but I think Eve got it right when she said that, probably thought that, look, God really wanted us to eat from that tree, because then we could go into this world where we had an understanding of the moral difference between good and bad and could start to fix the world up. So we are actually fulfilling the spiritual direction of being itself. And a cherub was then sent to block their re-entry to that spiritual realm until they died. But I would say that, in summary, rather than getting carried away too much with that spiritual aspect, that I think that this could indicate a wonderful and exciting love relationship. I think current relationships either deepen, or I have to say, some could well end. Now, new methods for personal growth and integration of your own opposing aspects present themselves to you as you turn towards and interact with a partner or with other people or a group. Now, ask yourself this question: what do you seek in the people you love, and what comprises a fulfilling relationship for you? Say to yourself, I enjoy working with people of all ages. I have inherent people skills. I am emotionally sure about what I need and don't need, and about what I don't want and what I do want from a relationship. And maybe I am now ready to meet the partner that I have always longed to meet. Now, what is on that top horizontal line? And have a look at it. Lots of good fire energy here for you, my dear Aries friend. And let's see what this is. This is the Ace of Wands. Do you know, I really think that Leo, Virgo, and Cancer are going to be around you in your life at the present. Now, this really this energy here really ignites the fire of action, passion, and your will to push outward on the journey in your life. Now, this is a raw, masculine energy that brings feelings of restlessness, drive, and courage. This is really the primordial energy of the divine, awakening the Kundalini force within you. Now, this fiery life force in you needs an outlet now to expand and manifest into the physical environment. And this powerful energy is going to refuse to be held back or contained. The key to understanding this is about you taking advantage of this surge of energy, because it will enable you to face any challenge with courage and vitality. And if you do that, you'll find that this is going to lead to the dawning of a new day and possibilities here. This is really awakening the spirit within you, which is also, I think, kindling your passion to focus on new possibilities and creations now. Its intense light shines on the doorway of deep wisdom and intuition. Now, this energy is bringing to you new beginnings, insights, adventure, and advancement. And this ace is setting fire to transformational, spiritual truth, confidence, and physical strength and endurance for you as well. Now, you are channeling powerful energy, I think, that is going to bring you vitality, courage, will, and eagerness to launch new concepts and projects. Now, when you align with your personal power, your fire and energies, they're going to bring about a new start, good health. Maybe you'll hear of the birth of a child, actually. There's an idea or a project which is coming into birth here, and it symbolizes the explosion of creation which goes with that explosion of creation with Gemini in that Lover's card. You are full of power and energy. Engage fully in discovering where and how you want to use it. And ask yourself this: what attracts you to doing it the most? What gives you the most pleasure? And in what framework could you realize your dreams? Say this to yourself, because it is definitely appropriate for you now that I express my energy and power openly. Now, the card sitting below it is that of what? High Priestess. Okay, High Priestess. Well, here is the moon, and the moon is very important as an energy alongside the other energies here. She is the priestess of the silver star, as I see it. Now, the moon, of course, represents cycles going with the flow of life. And I think here what you're going to find is that you have access to intuitive powers. There's a great degree of healing available to you. You'll be very independent and want independence, and you have great increased self-confidence. I think this is a period where you will be discovering your own truth. And stay in touch with your spirit guides. They are always there to look after you, and to steer you along your soul path. And there's a great degree of emotional stability with here as well. Now, she here is in touch with her intuitive abilities and can trust them completely. She perceives and is connected with her own inner voice, that internal guide and healer, as I think of it. Now, this shows outwardly in her trust in and responsibility to herself. Now, like the camel, which can travel long stretches in the desert without water, You, when you have discovered your own inner spring, will also radiate a satisfied sense of self-sufficiency. You will now find fertile oases in the most innermost reaches of your being. And you know that the more you accept yourself and share with others, the deeper the clarity of your perceptions will become. Now, I notice that this woman here is holding this book here, which I would say she is holding the book of the Akashic Records. I won't go into them, and you probably heard about them, but in summary, they are universal truth. Now, she has the gift of knowing how to channel into the collective memory of the past, present, and future. You are aware, I suppose, that on the other side, there is no time as we know it. There is only an eternal present. Now, this knowledge is going to guide you to resolve blocks that disturb your inner peace and balance. Now, I think she contains within this book here and is now sharing with you the universal secrets, answers, and mysteries that are available to you through prayer or through meditation or dreams. So pay attention to your dreams, or even just in walking around out in nature. I think the message of her to you is to trust your inner self and intuition. She's bringing harmony and balance to situations that have been disturbed, I'd say. And she does represent for you the beginning of a creative cycle now. She's bringing a time for self-reflection and integrating opposing aspects of the self. This is also talking about the reintegration, the reconciliation of opposites. Now, this is signaling, I think, for you a time of going within, of experiencing your dark, mysterious self and balancing that experience with your conscious self. Because you realize that understanding and honoring both realms can unveil behind this throne the way to the inner oasis of your soul. So I think you now have access to your intuitive powers and develop them more fully. And remember, guard your independence. Are there areas in life which you allow others to influence you rather than trusting your own intuition? This is a time which could also see the beginning of a great platonic friendship, in a time of change. But you realize that changes on the inside are necessary to make changes on the outside, don't you? And this is a time also to be more confident with your intuitive and feminine side. Now, as I mentioned here, each of us have both male and female principles within us. They just express themselves differently by virtue of anatomy, hormones, and psychology. Look at all this. Is this water here? I would say anyway that what this is saying is to seek out water as often as you can. Just look at it and learn as much from it as you can. Say this to yourself: I trust my intuitive abilities. I deeply honor and value the human being that I am. I am intuitive and perceptive. I trust myself, and I honor my sense of integrity. Now, what is the card that is underneath it? Let's have a look at it, shall we? And it is 6 of coins, or 6 of pentacles, or 6 of discs, however you prefer to refer to it. Now, the astrology here, the astrological energy is very interesting in this position, because it is the moon ruling the second decan of Taurus, which is the 1st to the 10th of May. Well, this is great, because the moon is exalted in Taurus, so she can do her best work. But the moon is transient, and this is talking of success for you. But successes could be short-lived, or you might have a number of successes. Now, the moon, of course, likes nurturing and comfort. And Taurus? Well, Taurus is really the poster child for good living, the good life, food, wine, sex, company, enjoyment. So they are well suited to be with one another. This is talking, I think, about the external manifestation of an internal strength which you have, and one which is going to lead to success. And the success, I think, is going to be in the material world, because the moon nurtures Taurus's desire for material comforts. Now, be open to your success. Do you know it is no less than a gift you can learn to accept thankfully and humbly? And you know that real success only comes once you have learned to serve? Success under these conditions enriches all levels of your being. Now, what does success mean for you at the moment? And this is also a reminder for you to remember the successes in your life to date and to build on those. Visualize as precisely as possible what your success looks like. And say this to yourself: my self-acceptance and self-confidence, they are the real keys to success. And finally, we come to this Ten of Cups. Well, this is a great astrology that I'm getting from it in this position and with the others around it, because it is Mars, your ruling planet, in the third decan, that is 20 to 30 degrees, of Pisces. Now, you might think that Mars is going to have an unhelpful influence on peaceful Pisces. But Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, and in its last decanate, it has the energy of Mars pushing the zodiac forward into spring and your sign of Aries. And the first decan at 0 to 10 degrees of your sign, that is also ruled by Mars. So there's a double Mars there to make sure that the zodiac moves along. And it is, of course, very auspicious for you. There's a great degree of satisfaction, fulfillment. There's emotional stability. You may find a dream place to live. It speaks to me of a happy family unit and of your dreams becoming a reality. You know, in a sense, I think that this 10 here in this position is really one of the happiest cards. There is deep love and contentment radiating from within you out into the world. And your grail is flowing over with peace and love. Wealth on all levels, material, emotional, spiritual, and mental, are going to be achieved. But the inner wealth of deep spiritual understanding is what is going to bring you the most happiness. You are walking your soul path at the moment in accordance with your soul contract, and the joy that it brings your heart is magical. Now, a way of thinking about this is also to make sure that you have a love for yourself. Find your inner grail of fulfillment. This is bringing you, I think, gratitude for all things in life. You feel as though you have returned to your true home. And the gift that it's bringing you is happiness and fulfillment. Let things develop by themselves now, because everything comes to you at the right moment. And remember to say this: life gives me all that I need to be happy. Well, what a fantastic spread.
Yes, you did a really good job in that reading, and what a fantastic and interesting month it looks like it's going to be for you, and don't you deserve it? It's great to see you. And you deserve all the good things in life, really you do. Now, unless I see you privately for a reading or a healing, then I'll see you again next month. And until then, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.